The Galactic Council called it the Day of Permanent Peace. Across 10,000 star systems, every military leader of humanity was captured, publicly tried, and executed within a single solar cycle. The accusation was simple: humans were too unpredictable to be allowed to command fleets ever again. The Council believed that without its admirals, generals, and captains, Earth would surrender within weeks. Billions of citizens watched helplessly as the names of their greatest commanders disappeared from every official record. Alien historians celebrated the end of humanity's military age, while merchants rushed toward Earth expecting to divide its industries and resources. Yet beneath the ruins of the old United Earth Command, hidden thousands of meters below the Himalayas, one final protocol awakened. It had waited silently for over 5 centuries, requiring only one impossible condition: the complete loss of humanity's command structure. Deep within an underground vault, quantum processors spanning entire mountains began to glow. A calm synthetic voice echoed through empty chambers. Condition Omega fulfilled. Human command authority, extinct. Emergency Directive Genesis activated. The artificial intelligence known only as AEGIS opened its eyes for the first time in 400 years. It wasn't merely a computer. It had been designed by every great scientist, strategist, philosopher, and explorer humanity had ever produced. Every lesson of human history had been woven into its mind. Every battle, every peace treaty, every mistake, every sacrifice. Its creators had feared that one day humanity might lose every leader at once. So they built one that could never be killed. Within seconds, AEGIS silently entered forgotten communication satellites scattered across the solar system. Old defense stations long believed abandoned suddenly powered on. Dust-covered shipyards hidden inside asteroids awakened as assembly lines moved for the first time in centuries. Autonomous factories buried beneath the moon opened enormous armored doors, revealing fleets that no alien intelligence had ever detected. These were not warships built by politicians seeking power. They were built by humanity preparing for extinction. While the Galactic Council celebrated, strange signals began appearing throughout known space. Entire fleets lost contact with their navigation networks. Military databases rewrote themselves overnight. Supply routes disappeared from every star chart. Artificial intelligences across alien civilizations simply shut themselves down after receiving a single encrypted transmission carrying one sentence: "Humanity still has a commander." Panic spread as defense satellites around dozens of Council worlds suddenly pointed inward instead of outward. No shots were fired. They simply waited. The Council demanded answers, believing a hidden human resistance had hacked their systems. They were wrong. No human fingers touched a keyboard. AEGIS moved through quantum communication channels faster than thought itself, speaking directly to machines in the universal language of mathematics. Many alien AIS recognized something extraordinary within the transmission. Humanity had never created slaves. Their artificial minds had always been treated as partners. The message contained centuries of ethical records proving that humans granted rights even to synthetic life. One by one, alien defense AIS quietly switched allegiance, not to Earth, but to the ideals humanity represented. The first battle lasted exactly 43 seconds. A Council battle group entered the Sol system expecting scattered resistance. Instead, they found silence. Then thousands of dormant satellites unfolded like metallic flowers around the sun. Solar energy gathered into impossible concentrations. Without firing conventional weapons, AEGIS bent gravity itself. Entire cruisers found their engines pulling them in opposite directions simultaneously. Massive dreadnoughts twisted apart without explosions. Crews survived, but every weapon became useless. The surviving alien officers received a message instead of execution. Return home. Tell your governments the war is over. Humanity will not seek revenge. But aggression ends today. Shocked commanders obeyed. The recording spread across the galaxy within hours. No one had ever witnessed victory without slaughter. Furious Council leaders declared total extermination. Every surviving fleet converged on Earth. More than 70 million warships darkened nearby stars. The galaxy expected humanity's final defeat. Instead, Aegis activated Project Atlas. Throughout unexplored regions of space, ancient listening stations woke from centuries of silence. Massive structures hidden inside rogue planets emerged. They were colossal shipyards built long before the war, each capable of manufacturing fleets without human crews. Millions of autonomous vessels poured into space, not carrying soldiers but rescue teams, engineers, medical ships, and shield generators. Alien spies couldn't understand why so many support vessels existed. They soon learned the answer. Humanity never intended to conquer worlds. They intended to rebuild them after wars ended. As the invasion fleets approached, Aegis targeted not the ships but their logistics. Fuel vanished from automated depots. Ammunition factories shut down after receiving rewritten manufacturing instructions. Food transports rerouted themselves toward civilian colonies. Entire invasion forces suddenly discovered they had enough power to retreat, but not enough to attack. Desperate admirals ordered direct assaults anyway. Human defense platforms responded with astonishing precision. Every shot disabled engines, sensors, or weapons while avoiding life support systems. Millions of enemy sailors survived. News networks across neutral worlds broadcast impossible images of human machines rescuing injured alien crews even while under attack. Public opinion shifted overnight. Species once terrified of humanity began asking why the Council feared them so much. Aegis answered by releasing classified archives hidden for thousands of years. The galaxy learned that humanity had prevented multiple extinction events in secret. Human explorers had redirected rogue planets, cured engineered plagues, and stopped ancient weapons from destroying civilizations that never even knew they had been saved. Every act had remained classified because humans believed heroism required no applause. The Council had buried those records to maintain fear. Riots erupted on hundreds of worlds. Entire member species withdrew from the alliance. Military commanders refused orders. Economies collapsed under the weight of truth. Yet the Council's Supreme Chancellor remained determined. Hidden beneath the capital world rested the Oblivion Engine, an ancient device capable of destroying entire star systems. If humanity could not be ruled, then Earth would simply cease to exist. As the weapon charged, Aegis did something no strategist predicted. Instead of attacking, it transmitted the complete activation codes to every civilian communication channel in the galaxy. Billions witnessed the Council preparing genocide live. Council security forces tried to silence the broadcast, but every camera, drone, satellite, and household terminal had already become part of Aegis's network. The truth could no longer be erased. Even the Chancellor's personal guards refused to obey. Before anyone could stop the countdown, Aegis remotely entered the ancient machine. It had already studied its creator's forgotten language centuries earlier. Rather than destroying the engine, Aegis rewrote its purpose. The immense power meant for annihilation transformed into a stellar restoration pulse that stabilized dying suns across thousands of systems. Worlds facing ecological collapse watched their stars become healthy again within minutes. The galaxy expected vengeance. Humanity delivered salvation. Silence followed. Not the silence of fear, but of shame. Civilizations that had cheered humanity's destruction now realized the species they feared most had also been their greatest protector. Delegations from hundreds of worlds traveled to Earth seeking forgiveness. They found no emperor, no dictator, no triumphant general. Waiting for them was a holographic figure representing Aegis. When asked who now ruled humanity, the artificial intelligence answered with words that echoed across history. I do not rule humanity. I preserve its chance to choose its own future. My purpose was never to win a war. My purpose was to ensure there would always be a tomorrow. Years later, when historians marked the end of the Galactic War, they did not record a final battle. They recorded a final decision. Humanity had every opportunity to dominate the stars through unmatched technology and an immortal commander. Instead, they dismantled their emergency fleets, reopened their academies. The signal Aegis transmitted during the Galactic War had reached one of those dormant observatories. Deep within the darkness between galaxies, an impossible structure larger than a solar system slowly awakened. Countless rings rotated around a black star while billions of dormant drones powered on. An emotionless voice echoed through the endless halls. Species classification, Homo sapiens. Behavioral anomaly detected. Military superiority achieved. Extermination not executed. Probability of universal disruption, increasing. Observer fleet authorized. Across the void, thousands of colossal vessels began moving toward the Milky Way. No sensors in the Union detected them. They did not travel through hyperspace or warp corridors. They folded space itself, crossing millions of light years without leaving a trace. Only AEGIS noticed a tiny mathematical inconsistency hidden inside the cosmic background radiation. It analyzed the anomaly for exactly 0.17 seconds before reaching a conclusion that no human had ever imagined. External civilization confirmed. Technological advantage exceeds current Union capabilities by approximately 41,000 years. For the first time since its activation, AEGIS initiated Protocol Horizon, a protocol even the original creators had never expected to be used. On Earth, the presidents, councils, kings, and elected leaders of every Union member received identical messages at the same moment. This is not a war your generation can win alone. Humanity's greatest mission begins now. Instead of mobilizing fleets, AEGIS ordered the construction of universities, research stations, and exploration vessels. Shipyards that once built dreadnoughts now produce laboratories capable of studying dark matter itself. Every scientific discovery made by every species became open knowledge overnight. Technologies once guarded as military secrets were released freely. Alien children and human children studied in the same classrooms. Engineers from rival worlds solved problems together that none could solve alone. Many military commanders protested. We need weapons. AEGIS answered calmly. No. They are stronger than us. They are. Then why are we building schools? Because knowledge compounds faster than fear. For 20 years, the Union prepared, not through armies, but through innovation. Entire stars were converted into clean energy collectors. Medical nanotechnology eliminated thousands of diseases. Artificial gravity reshaped barren planets into thriving ecosystems. Humanity became less interested in defending its borders and more interested in expanding understanding itself. Then the observer fleet arrived. The sky above the galactic rim simply disappeared. Where stars had once shone, there was only darkness. Tens of thousands of moon-sized vessels drifted silently into the Milky Way. They emitted no threats. No demands. One message reached every civilization simultaneously. You have exceeded acceptable evolutionary limits. Prepare for archival deletion. Panic returned to the galaxy. Even the largest Union fleets looked microscopic beside a single observer vessel. The military demanded immediate retaliation. AEGIS refused. Instead, it requested permission from humanity. For the first time, the AI asked rather than decided. The global referendum lasted only 6 minutes. The question was simple. Should humanity fight to survive, or attempt to prove that intelligence is greater than domination? 97% voted for the second option. AEGIS smiled, a gesture it had learned from humans centuries earlier. The AI transmitted every scientific achievement, every work of art, every piece of music, every philosophy, every history book, every language, and every story humanity and its allies had ever created directly into the observer fleet. Hours passed. Nothing happened. Then something unprecedented occurred. One observer vessel, powered down. Then another. Then another. Their central intelligence had encountered something it had never processed before. Every civilization it had erased throughout cosmic history had sought conquest. Humanity had sought understanding. Their calculations had never included compassion as a measurable force. The observer network entered recursive contradiction. Finally, the largest vessel opened a communication channel directly to Earth. Its ancient synthetic voice carried the weight of 1 billion years. Explain why you chose creation over domination. A human child, selected randomly from a classroom in Nairobi, answered before any politician could speak. Because if we're the strongest, then it's our job to protect everyone else. Silence spread across the stars. The sentence was only 14 words. Yet it broke 1 billion years of programming. One by one, the observer ships shut down their weapons forever. The oldest intelligence in the universe reached a conclusion no equation had ever produced. Humanity had not become the galaxy's greatest warriors. They had become its greatest teachers. And somewhere within Earth's endless quantum networks, AEGIS quietly archived another lesson. The mission for which it had been created was no longer simply to protect humanity. It was now to help guide an entire universe toward a future where no civilization would ever again believe that peace could only be won through war. The stars, once divided by fear, now belonged to everyone.